Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Tim, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be doing this now. I'm exhausted as all heck from work, but I'm excited for talking It's a Wonderful Life because I adore this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Before we kind of go ahead and get started, I just wanted to give everybody heads up. Tonight's stream is going to be a little different. It's not going to be probably a ton of laughs. We'll be ourselves, but we're going to be discussing It's a Wonderful Life, some heavy topics, potentially. It's funny. I wanted to bring Tim in with me here because I cut him off on Monday night and we had started discussing this on Instagram and we decided, you know what, let's do a live stream talking about It's a Wonderful Life. And that way we could get into some topics that are normally not discussed. So I reached out to a couple other people and they had some things they wanted to say. And tonight's going to be a good conversation. Tim, you looking forward to it?
Absolutely. And I love the panel here. This is great people.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and introduce everybody individually here, get them in here. It's probably not going to be a long stream, maybe an hour and a half. I don't know. It just depends on the conversation. So, Tony, what's going on, man? I just want to say I love this guy to death. I just talked to him for a while on the other day, and Tim, I'm sure you could vouch for me on that one. Tony's just if there were more people. If there were more people like Tony, I feel like the world would be a better place.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Imagine if the movie community was just a bunch of Tonys. Oh my God.
Boy.
Perfection. It would be perfection. Yeah. Quiet, a little quiet.
That'd be depressing.
So what's going on, Tony? How are you, man?
Not much, and just having a good day. Hopefully y'all have been having a good day. I know Tim's been working like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Of course, Bob, you and your busy schedule.
Yeah, life gets crazy around the holidays, and we're going to kind of talk about that. So let me go ahead and introduce my next guest here. We got Lapkey. This is my first time streaming with him. So what's going on, man?
Not much, man. I'm glad to be here. Great panel we got here. Tim and Tony and Fish I've done something with before. Yeah. So it's nice to be back with you guys. And I agree. I wish, if everybody was like Tony, it'd be great. He's my spirit animal. I want to be like him when I grow up.
Yeah. And you got Clark with you, so you got a special guest.
Sparky's back there,
yeah. All right, let me go ahead and get my next guest in here. We got Gus bringing the heat tonight. Look at that. What's going on, Gus?
Hey, Bob. Hi, everyone. I'm excited to talk about this movie. Fresh off watching it.
Yeah,
the colorized version.
You watched the colorized version of it, yeah. So... All right, let me go ahead and get my final guest in here. We've got Fish, the film collector. What's going on, Fish?
Hee-haw. What's up, guys? How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Did I catch all story now?
This is like I was telling Tony yesterday. I said it's basically the DVD stream we did, just Lapkey, because Benicio on Tuesday nights, unfortunately, he can't make it. He's with his kids. So, good for him. Good being a good dad. But, so Lapkey. Appreciate you jumping in here, and can't wait. I'm excited to finally stream with you, man. I've been dying to do it, so
I'm excited.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and I figured tonight I don't have a ton of questions. It's not any structure. We're just going to kind of free flow and talk about some of the things, basically what the movie meant to us. Talk about some heavy topics potentially. Some things we may have been able to relate to in the movie, things like that. But I'm going to go ahead and start with Tim. When did you first see this movie?
So in my household, my mom was huge into classics. The type of house where like TCM would be on constantly. Actually, in my house, my dad was the action movie guy. My mom was the classics. So that's where I got my love of Die Hard on one side, It's a Wonderful Life on the other. But I saw this as early as I can remember watching movies, really. I've seen this movie. And it's one of those movies where over repeated viewings over the years, you understand more and the themes of it hit more. Like early on when I watched it as a kid, it's kind of Christmas Carol-like with seeing what the timeline could be like. But as I watched it as I got older, I was like, this is dealing with some seriously heavy stuff. So it's one of those movies that just kind of evolves with you as you grow older. Love this movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I do apologize, Tony. Before I get to you, I'm going to catch up with the chat here. because I did skip the chat. We got Caprice in the house. Appreciate you being here, Caprice. First one. I know she actually promoted it on Instagram. Thank you so much. We got Mama Blu-ray here. Appreciate you being here. Gus saying hi to everybody. Mama Blu-ray saying hi. Holland Oates in the house. Appreciate you being here as well. Lapkey's in the chat.
All our streams, I'm telling you, that Gus guy.
What's up?
I said that Gus guy's in every stream. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah, this guy right here. Look at that. Look at that face, though. What a beautiful face, huh? All right, we got Mama Blueberry saying hi, Tim.
Hello.
She just wanted to say hi to Tim. Sue says, evening, everyone who's ready to talk about this classic. Yes, and I know Sue, I think, watched it last year for the first time, I believe. Jerry's in the house. What's going on, man? Appreciate you.
Hey, Jerry.
Holland Oates says everything would sell if
there were more Tonys.
Sell it if there were more Tonys. Yes. Yeah, I can't read tonight. Sorry, guys. Fish, Magic Hands, Mike's in the house. I actually might go to the show with him tonight. We'll see. Sue saying hi to Fish. Holland Oates. Hey, Magic Hands. Hey, Sue. Hey, Mama Blu-ray. All right, so I think I'm all caught up for the most part here. We got Hard Copy Blues. Love this panel. Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's going to be a good conversation here. So next up here, Tony, go ahead and tell us kind of when you first saw this movie and things like that.
So I'm in my 50s, so I've been watching this film for most of my life. But the thing about it is just growing up watching this, it was always bits and pieces of it. It was never really the full movie. And so I really haven't seen the full movie up until just a few years ago from start to finish. And it is a very dark and heavy movie. It's, you think about it being a Christmas movie. Well, Christmas is just a very minute part of it. Most of it's talking about the darker themes, raising the family, having tough times, running a business, all those things. So I am definitely looking forward to talking about it tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you being here. All right, Lapkey, I know you just watched it last night. Was it for the first time?
It was Sunday. I watched it for the very first time. It's been on my list forever. But when when Tim started having that speech in that one live stream, I was like, wow, I gotta watch this year, because I probably wouldn't have watched it this year. It's been on my list since I was a kid, so it was going to be a while since I watched it. And then when you contacted me, see if I've seen it, and I was like, no, I haven't seen it yet. And then you explained that you liked it so much, so I was like, okay, I'm going to put it on my list. I'm going to watch it now. So I went to Walmart and got the only copy I could find. It was this, and I almost contacted you guys. I was like, oh, should I watch the colored version or the black and white version? But I decided to go classic and go black and white the way it was made. So. But I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot, and it's definitely going to be a movie I revisit often. And I'm going to get that 4K.
Yes.
Hey, Lapkey, is that beard keeping you warm in the winter?
Yeah, I live in Arizona, so it's pretty warm here anyway.
Oh,
so.
Okay. It's already warm. Man, in the summer, that's got to get hot.
You know what? The beard doesn't bother me. It's the hair on the head that bothers me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm great. I'm thankful I have it, but
me and Tony don't have that problem.
Be thankful.
Yeah. Gus, when did you first see this for the first time? Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. In school, actually, it was a 2-day affair. You watched half of the movie one day and then the other half the other day. But it was usually before spring break. So I would always miss either the first or the second part. So I never really grew up watching the whole thing like Tony. I actually watched the whole thing when the 4K came out last year. I think it was last year. And I loved the film. It's like everybody just said, it's a Christmas classic. It touches on different things that you can live through, different facets of your life. And I can see why people might feel like it's not a Christmas movie, but I have a point to prove that this is a Christmas movie.
All right. And Gus, not to put you on the spot here, but like Christmas movies are not your favorite like genre, right?
No, I like if Christmas is like in the background kind of thing, if it's like a movie during the time, I don't mind. Like this movie, White Christmas, Holiday Inn, where it's in the background, it's not like thrown in your face. I don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Finally Fish? I know we had just discussed, and you had said you had a lot to talk about on this topic and in this movie, some of the themes in particular. So when did you first see it for the first time?
Oh, well, I actually tried to watch it in high school back in the 90s and I fell asleep. And then I never revisited it because I was like, man, I was didn't want to give it another chance because I was like, man, that put me to sleep. Why would I want to watch a movie that put me to sleep? So over the years, I just put it on the back burner and never wanted to try it again until last year. And I just saw a lot of people doing reaction videos to it. So I thought I'd check it out. And I fell in love with it. That first watch, I actually, I did. And I watched it again for the first time, or again this year on 4K. I watched it streaming last year, but this past year I watched it again and thoroughly fell in love with it even more. So it's starting to crawl up the ranks of my favorite Christmas movies. So
yeah, absolutely. And for me, I had actually just watched it actually after Monday night stream. I put it on, and Tim was talking all about it. And so I put it on and, I loved it. I did watch the black and white version on 4K. I didn't know a thing about this movie though. I had never really talked to anybody about it and, watched it for the first time. And then it was in particular, probably the last 20 to 30 minutes that really hit me hard because it all kind of comes together. But yeah, I probably shed a few tears at the very end, some of the quotes, very memorable quotes and things like that. But yeah, so let's kind of go ahead and catch up with the chat just a little bit briefly here. Holland Oates says, hey, Hard Copy Blues. Sup, Holland, Vin, Tony, and Tim. There we go. Yeah.
I am so happy though that you ended up loving it, because I know sometimes our movie tastes we could either like the same thing or be so far apart. And I was like, oh, I hope Bob likes this.
And you know what? I was just talking to Tony, I believe, about this yesterday. I talked to so many people throughout the course of the day. I repeat myself. I apologize a lot. But I think I was telling Tony, I was like, naturally, I watch a lot of like 60s, 70s, 80s movies, but I don't dabble too much beyond the 60s. Outside of film class. I love Some Like It Hot. I love Rebel Without a Cause and a lot of those movies. But when I have 3,000 other movies in my house here, I put something else on. Even when I want to watch something like that, I'm like, yeah, I'll just put something newer on. So I really like when I can structure and say that's why, like, I know a lot of people for 25 Days of Christmas, they don't pick a certain day. For me, I like to, because then it says, hey, it's Monday, I'm watching this. Like, a lot of times I'll try to put something on and then I'll get home and I'll look through my collection and it's an hour later. I'm still looking. Mm-hmm. So when I know what I'm going to watch, it helps a lot. And this one in particular, what, 1942 was it? Or is
46?
46. Okay.
46.
I mean, the black and white did not faze me one bit, not one bit. And I love when you can watch something like that and then realize, wow, you need to realize that you enjoyed this that much. You can enjoy a lot of other movies if you dabbled into them. So it was really good kind of wake up call for me to see this one.
Plus, that's the thing. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's the thing about black and white movies. Sometimes you're just like, I don't really want to watch a black and white movie, but you forget about it within the first 5 minutes. If even that, you forget that it's black and white.
Even subtitles. Wasn't it after Parasite, he won Best Director, and he said, if you can break down the barrier of subtitles, you'd be introduced to so many great movies. And I think the same goes for black and white, or just 80-year-old movies or 70-year-old movies.
Yeah. Well, so some older movies can really date themselves. It's just part of it. But I feel like It's a Wonderful Life, it holds up so well with so much of the themes. Like, even we're going to dive into even some of the darker stuff, but even it touches on housing heavily. And the housing market in this country is a freaking disaster. And you have Potter, who is basically a slumlord, which we have plenty of those in this country. And it really, it hits hard. This is a movie that's, 80 years old, and it hits just as hard about housing now than it did 80 years ago. That's crazy. Thematically, this movie didn't age at all. Like, it holds up so well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, there were so many topics that were relevant today beyond just the housing market. I mean, touches on depression, touches on, like you said, family, suicide. I mean, a lot of different things. A lot of great quotes. But so yeah, I mean, you know, something I had talked to Fish about before the stream started was, like I said, it's going to be a very personable stream here, very personal stream. If like you're struggling out there with depression, if you've seen this movie or anything like that, don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes it's very hard, but like, you know, there's, you know, reach out to one of us or anybody else on Instagram. Like, to me, the Instagram community is like a family, and, you know, the holidays aren't always hunky-dory and fun for everyone. And Tim, you were touching on that Monday until I cut you off, and that's why I really wanted to do this stream. So I'm going to let you kind of finish your thoughts on from Monday that you were talking about, but go ahead and talk about one of the themes, or, you know, what this movie meant to you.
Well, so as I was saying on Monday, and I said it in another stream actually, but a lot of people, I think, like to associate Christmas with happy, which that's not a bad thing. You want a happy time, but Christmas isn't happy for everyone. Suicide, it happens around Christmas. Family members pass away during Christmas. There is financial struggles, which this movie leads with financial struggles leading to thinking about suicide. There's a lot of stuff that happens during Christmas, and I like when a movie can tackle more harder subject and still be around Christmas, because not everything is all happy hunky-dory. There are people that have really rough times around Christmas. I don't want to get too dark, but so back when I worked at I'm actually wearing my old jobs thing. So back when I worked at this place, I had a coworker who his wife died. It was something natural. It was either cancer or stroke or something like that. She died around Christmas time. He ended up taking his life 1 year later. That Christmas is dark for some people, and it's. I feel we sometimes need that in movies to be representative, because people need to realize, like, hey, other people go through the same struggles. Because, I mean, I went through a pretty dark patch myself. The mind is messed up, man. You can go through dark times, but you're not alone. There's always people to help you out, which is what Clarence wants to George in this movie.
Actually, Master Chaos just put a poll up on his YouTube. I thought it was funny. Who's the best Christmas hero? And John McClane ended up winning, but Clarence was on there. So
he is a hero, though.
He is, absolutely. And he got his wings at the end. One thing, and we're going to definitely dive into spoilers on this. So if you haven't seen the movie, I know Hard Copy Blues, I believe you said you haven't. So I just want to let you know we're probably going to dive into some spoilers. One thing I wanted to ask you guys, and we're going to be all over the place. That's kind of how I am. But one thing I actually, when I went on Letterboxd and I started looking up some reviews after I watched the movie, I didn't catch this. And a lot of people are talking about, as they've watched the movie multiple times over the years, they're catching new things about it, things they didn't notice the first time, because it's a very heavy movie. And one thing I didn't put together, the first time in the very beginning, when he saves his brother, he jumps in the water to save his brother. And then at the very end, and once again, spoilers here, he jumps in the water to save Clarence. Like, I think maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I didn't put this together until I was looking at somebody else. Water plays a heavy, an important role in this movie, I feel like, in Clarence's life, or in George's life in particular. I don't know if did you guys notice that about it, or did you think about that, or you think I'm reaching?
So the only reason why. Go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was saying he's not reaching. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, so I actually did notice that just because they made that comment. He's like, "Oh, my ear! I can hear it in my ear now." And I was like, "Oh yeah, he lost it by falling in the water, and now he thinks he got it back by falling into that water, or jumping into that water." So that's the only reason why I connected the two. Other than that, I wouldn't have.
Yeah. Fish, it looked like you had something to say on that.
Well, I was even going to talk about when he met Mary again as they got older, when they were older, and they met up at the dance, and then the
fall into
pool
the pool.
opens, and then they fall into the water, and then they keep dancing, and water. Yeah, right.
The movie's very heavy for sure, but there are some great scenes in that scene where they fall in the water and everybody jumps in, and the guy that's freaking out he's like, oh fuck it, and he just jumps in. And
maybe another way of looking at it, you can look at it from a religious standpoint of, when the character goes into the water is usually when major things happen in his life that changes the course of his life. First, his brother, that probably changed him in the way that he was as a kid, probably traumatizing his brother fall into the water. Then when he falls into the water again is when he met the girl and they fell in love, sort of. You could, once the movie goes longer, and then the other part when he's lost and he feels like nobody needs him, and then he comes to the realization that without him, most of the people that he knows wouldn't have the life that they have currently.
I mean, there was definitely for me a few laughs as well sprinkled into this movie, and I'm not the biggest comedy fan, mainly because if a movie makes me laugh without like me trying to laugh, that's always a good thing. And there was definitely some funny parts. Like I genuinely, I'm a sucker for romance, though, keep in mind, so I'm biased, but the scene after that water where they fall in and they're kind of walking, I love that whole 10-minute scene where they're walking and they're singing, and then she loses her robe and he's getting ready to throw it to her, and he's like, you know what kind of, he's like, I'm in quite the predicament here. And I love that whole 15-20-minute scenes. I thought they had incredible chemistry, and she's beautiful. She was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I still want to know how she lost her robe. It's still unclear.
Yeah.
I love the older guy that's like, why don't you kiss her already?
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, you don't think I will? Yeah.
Well, see, and that older guy, I took him as he was going through something as well. He's like, oh my God, there's a beautiful woman in front of you. I wish I could be, because he probably did the same thing. It's like, man, if I was in that position, kiss her, you're gonna lose her, like I did. That's just how I thought of it. It's like, he kind of went through probably something like that.
When he's walking away, he says youth is wasted or something like that, something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. Youth is wasted on love or something like that.
Yes.
There's one scene I totally missed. I didn't put two and two together, I guess. I just didn't think about it. But one of the scenes I love so much is when she's at I'm not sure, like a diner with him or something, or he's behind the counter, and she leans over and she says, is this your bad ear? She goes, what did she say? I'm going to marry you one day.
Right? I'm going to love you for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to love you for the rest of my life. I love that. I mean, once again, I'm a sucker for, romance and stuff like that in movies, but I thought this was done really well too. I mean,
thinking about that scene, the beating that he got in that stock room or that back room from the man who lost his son. Man, that was pretty rough.
God, can you imagine getting beat by another person? It's just that would that threw me off. I was like, oh my goodness.
Are you talking about? Sorry, I'm all over the place here. Are you talking about the scene where he tells him about the as a kid, when he's a kid?
His ear's bleeding.
His ear was bleeding.
And he's like, please don't hit me again. That scene is so powerful.
That was rough. That's rough to watch. That one is,
he was going back there to make sure he was okay and to make sure that, because he knew what had happened by reading that telegram, whatever that's called. He went back there to help him, to see how he was, and then also to keep him from poisoning, the poison, the kid, and just the beating that he got from all that, which would almost deter anybody from wanting to help anybody, but he still wanted to help him.
And then as he realizes it's poison, he's like, please don't hit me again. And he's like, no, thank you so much. Yeah. Right. He thanks him and he like pats him on the shoulder. Yeah. That's powerful, especially when once again tying 2 and 2 together here. But at the end of the movie, and once again, we're jumping all over the place. I do apologize. But when he basically, I mean, how do I say this? So obviously we've already spoiled it, but when he finds out at the end of the movie, hey, you weren't born and this is what happened. He poisoned that kid.
He actually killed the kid.
Yeah, he killed the kid. And it's like, I mean, we could get into that now if you want to talk about the whole, I wish I was never born. I think, you know, even if you've never struggled with necessarily suicide, that thought, I think, has crossed people's head. I wonder what life would look like without me, or I wonder what would have happened if I was never born. I don't know. Have you guys ever had those thoughts or said those things or wondered?
Oh my gosh, yes. So
Yeah.
So I even I went through kind of like a dark patch. What would it be, about like 2 years ago? I actually used to have a channel before that, same channel, but I had it going earlier, and I went through like a dark patch there, and I shut the channel down. Nothing to even do with the channel, but I was just like kind of messed up in the head. I'm like, I felt kind of worthless, if you know, like what am I doing? Nothing I'm doing matters. I don't. It's hard to put it into words, but I just felt worthless, and a lot of people probably feel that way at some point in time, and it's just, the head is messed up, man. The head could really play with you.
Yeah. And I know I don't want to get too far behind on the chat here. Let me try and catch up. But like, for example, comments like this, and I've expressed this so many times, but when you come into a stream and it's Gus, right? Fish, Lapkey, you know, Tony, Tim, whatever, it makes you feel like you belong. And that's a great feeling. It just, in a way, I don't want to say George felt invisible, but like he didn't feel like he had a reason to be left alive at that point. And so it's great when you come into a room and you know you're welcomed. You know, I don't know if that necessarily correlates with the movie, but yeah,
because I mean, if you look through the movie, how many times did the people that were helped by James Stewart's character actually stopped and thanked him for everything that he was doing, or what his father did for them? You know, you didn't see much of that. It was just pretty much giving. He was always attentive to people's needs rather than his own, you know?
Yeah.
Well, George got nothing going his way for most of the movie, because all he did was bend over backwards to help other people. Like, his brother was about ready to take over the business after the 4 years, and George wouldn't let him. George continued on. Like, George let everyone else have their life, and he just kept getting pushed to the side, essentially.
Yeah. Now, Tim, I know you had talked about your previous channel. So like about 4 years ago, I started an Instagram page. I didn't know any of you, but like I met Ken, I met Terrell. I've actually known Terrell longer than anybody. I met Ken and a couple others, like even Steel Raising 4Ks. I met him, and I had gone through like a rough breakup. I was going through some crap in my life too, Tim. And I actually took a break from Instagram for a couple. I stopped, and then I didn't come back. And when I tried to come back, my account was gone. I couldn't get back on. So that's why I started a whole new channel. But I have been more active. Like, I didn't have a YouTube channel, but even then, like, I didn't send voice messages. I wasn't comfortable as comfortable as I am now. I feel so welcomed in this community. I feel so a part of, like, you know, some people don't want to call it a community. That's fine. I won't get into the politics of it or whatever. To me, it's like a family, man. Like so many of you guys are like family to me. I mean, to get, you know, not to get all corny or emotional here, but seriously, I mean, you know, most of you I talk to every day on a daily basis at some point. And it is, I mean, I talk to you guys more than I talk to my own family. So it's great to know you're welcomed, if that makes sense. And cause you go through those dark places, and it's good to have people where you could be like, hey, you know, I have that relationship with Tim, Tony, you know, I've had those conversations with Gus, not just about movies, you know what I mean? So it's good to know, like, you got people out there. But Tony, I know Tim talked about it. Like, I don't know if you guys wanted to talk about if you've ever had those, thoughts like, hey, I wonder what life would be like if I wasn't born. That scene blew me away because you're seeing all the things that would have changed without him.
Yeah, thankfully I haven't had those kind of thoughts. So I'm very thankful for that. But I can see where people would, feel like they're not being loved, or feel like they've been shunned by people, or, they don't feel like they have anybody to talk to. So I can definitely understand that part of it. So no, one point I did want to bring up about this particular part of the movie, the fact where how he toward the end of the movie when he's with his family and how harsh he speaks to his kids, quit playing the piano, he was just like in an aggravated mood. I can definitely relate to that, with having kids of my own. And, I've been married since I was 20, and we had kids like 2 years after we were married. So growing up, you're kind of growing up. I can't imagine anybody in their 20s right now having kids, but we did. Just knowing how aggravating they can be sometimes, where you're trying to provide and to take care of their needs, how overwhelming that can be for people. And I think maybe around the holidays is a time that can be very overwhelming, trying to give your kids things that that you really can't afford, or making them feel like they want them to have a really good Christmas. So I can see where George was really getting aggravated with all the chaos going, with his little girl being sick upstairs. I know when my kids were sick, it was always something very worrisome. So I think around the holidays, you really do, dads in particular want to take care of their kids and provide for them, could be a hard time for people.
And Tony, I'm glad you touched on that, because I'm pretty sure, unless Lapke does, you're the only one who has kids in this stream. I know I don't. Fish, Tim, Gus, yeah, none of us do. So I know I was.
My kids are 30 and 27 now, so
right,
I didn't kill them.
I know I was probably that huge pain in the ass for my mom and dad as a kid. That was the worst. Are you kidding me? But one thing I wanted to say on that whole family thing you were talking about, when I was watching that movie, I was like, oh my God, this is the dream woman. She was so caring for him. And obviously we see later on, she went out and she loved him with everything. She took care of the kids. She cared about her kids. She was patient. She was kind. Like, that is just the dream man or woman you don't find in somebody. Her character was just perfection. Like, she's the definition to me of perfection.
I mean, she even gave up her honeymoon money to keep the business afloat.
Yeah,
I loved that scene so much when she holds up the money. I got $2,000 right here. Oh, that is so like that. She was behind him all the way.
Yeah, and then I also liked, how, I mean, if you think about somebody that did that, would probably be pissed, after the fact, but she had another plan, made it work. And, she was happy and supportive of him, which is really nice to see,
Now, really quick, Gus, while I got you on, I know Fans of Something said this is not a Christmas movie earlier, too.
Yes.
And you have a big presentation. Did you want to give Holland and everybody your presentation?
Sure. So I watched it last night in black and white, the 4K version, and I actually Ed and Holland came to mind. I have to find a convincing argument that this is a Christmas movie, so I did find one. I found many points that prove that this is a Christmas movie. So the first one, obviously, the credits. There's Christmas themes in the title cards. There's Santa. There's everything that you could think of winter and Christmas is in those title cards. Then at the beginning of the movie, it has to be Christmas or close to Christmas. It's snowing. Everybody's praying to a higher being to help George, which is something that I didn't latch onto until I watched it last night, that everybody was for George beginning of the movie. Then when the two spirits are sending the angel down, when he only has 1 hour to help George. And then from that Christmas night, it goes into the whole life story of George and what led to the point that he's at the moment. Then he goes down. It's snowing like hell. I think it's snowing more than Die Hard, and Die Hard is considered a Christmas movie. And it's Christmas. I think it's Christmas Day, because towards the end of the movie, everybody's singing, caroling, and enjoying the holidays, and everything's fine and dandy. So it's totally a Christmas movie.
Look at that.
Sorry.
Got settled it.
And the very start of the movie would be right as George walks out of the door in frustration is when the start of the movie would be.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Let me catch up with the chat because I never like to leave the chat hanging. All right. So Hard Copy Blue says holidays are an extreme spike in depression, suicide, unfortunately. Yep. Tim was talking about that Monday. Those of us on the East Coast, it can be even worse with the lack of sunlight and cold. Yeah, it's rough. Absolutely. Like 30 days a night type of stuff. Anthony Horror and more. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Nick, what's going on, everyone? Sorry I'm late. I'm going to get to bed, trucker life. Yep. He gets up at about 1 a.m. for work. So appreciate you stopping by, Nick. Fans of Something says something that I found uncomfortable was how Jimmy Stewart kisses his mom on the lips multiple times throughout the movie. I get it was a different time in different ways, but hasn't aged well. What did you guys think? Anything on that or no?
It's weird because I still do that with my mom.
I didn't really recognize it.
Yeah, it's now that somebody's brought it up, like that. Growing up, it wasn't weird because it's what we did, And I'm 45 years old and I still do it, kiss my mom on the lips, whenever I see her. So to me, it's not weird, but I can see how others can see it. Because you didn't grow up that way. You don't grow up that way. It's not normal to you, but you do, like me. And it's not. So.
And Eddie's in his 20s, right? I'm not sure how old, but obviously that's a whole different generation there. So, Hard Copy Blue's not worried about spoilers. The film is nearly 80 years old. Just makes me want to watch it more. Hearing you all discuss it with such love. Yeah, and once again, this is a different stream, but I have talked in the past to kiss her on the cheek. Mama Blu-ray says we've all been a kiss on the lips kind of family. Gus, see, there you go.
When I used to be a kid, I used to kiss my uncles in the lips.
Yeah, when I was a kid too. That's what. That was the 90s. That was normal.
I mean, everybody. I talked to Tim about this too. Like, change the subject briefly here, but I've always wanted to do different stuff on my channel other than like just your unboxing videos or something like that. So I've always wanted to dive deeper into a little more personal things. And so this was an opportunity to do that. Like Godfather 3, when Andy Garcia fell in love with his cousin. I don't know, to each their own.
That's something else.
That's a little different.
There's always room for family. Hi, everyone. Hi, Mika. Appreciate you being here, Mika. I know KB's doing a stream as well. One of the best ways to lift your spirits and feel alive is to watch a new movie and love it. The film is so special that way. Walking away from a new experience can 180 your mood. 100%.
I agree. Yeah.
Fans of Something totally agree. It's a mini vacation from life. Yeah, it's funny because my family will tell me I'm dark and depressing because I like sad and depressing endings. I don't always like a happy ending. I actually prefer a sad ending. And I'm like, I like something real sometimes. I like reality. And my mom's like, I escape from reality when I watch a movie. I don't want to watch a depressing. I think she gets pissed if I put a movie on and like the main character dies and I'm like, it's a great ending. And she's like, no, that sucks.
So if a movie makes me cry, I automatically love it. Like, it could be like not so good movie, and if it makes me cry, it's like, okay, that hit the emotion that I want. Like, I don't know, I love to cry during movies.
I think that since crying in a movie is very rare, when you find a tear jerker, you kind of love it because it stirs those emotions that you don't usually find in film.
Yeah.
You don't normally feel in your everyday.
I think that's exactly it. Not to get into spoilers here, but like, the ending of Buried with Ryan Reynolds. That makes
Yeah.
me feel emotions that I've never really felt.
That makes me so mad.
When a movie can make me stand up out of my seat in the last 5 minutes because I can't sit down, I am so on the edge of my seat that I'm standing like that. You did a good job if you could make me do that. And there's a couple movies, sports movies sometimes, the movie Frozen where they get stuck on the ski lift.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
yeah, different things like that. I mean, I love a movie that can make you feel that. And this movie makes you feel a lot of emotions too, especially at the end.
Yeah, a couple. So I've seen Edward Scissorhands 1,000 times. A couple years ago, I watched it it must have been the right time. And by the end of the movie, I was bawling my eyes out. The first time I've ever cried during that movie, and I've seen it 1,000 times. It just depends on when you're seeing it, what mood you're in. I absolutely love that movie. And I mean, it's I always get sad, but it's just I've never cried like that before during a movie I've seen 1,000 times. It was just crazy, and I loved it. I loved it.
Now, Helen Oates has a question for Tim. Does it move up in the rankings? He'd give it an extra 15 points.
I'd have to look actually if it would, but yeah, I wish it was higher. But I don't know how many times I've seen this movie, and every single time at the end, especially when Zuzu gives that line, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. That really brings out the emotions because it's like this is the culmination, everything that George just went through, and now he has the entire town right around him. They absolutely love him. Clarence got his wings. It's like, oh my God, I love this so much.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that quote that Clarence wrote in there? No man is a failure if he has friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that quote. I've been saying that a lot. I was telling my dad, talking to him about it. Yes, Frozen's so messed up. If you want a fucked up ending, check out Speak No Evil.
Speaking about Clarence, at the very beginning, when they're describing Clarence, they describe him as an idiot, someone that's kind of dumb. I'm thinking, I didn't see that at all. Did y'all?
No.
They said he had the faith of a child, simple and
that's good. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the movie does expand years and years, so I guess you could grow. I don't know. I mean, he did. But I know I wanted to get to you next, Lapke. That whole like the ending. What is I guess like what did it mean to you, especially as have you ever had those thoughts or anything that George
So
had?
I agree with Tony. I've never had those thoughts about what if I was never born, but I'm in that group of not appreciating what I have and want something more. I'm always wanting more. It's like, I need to get this. I need, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. Where same with James Stewart, he was rich already because he had so much, but he wasn't thinking about what he had. And at the end, he showed all the people he helped came back to help him. So he didn't really realize what he had. And sometimes you have to stop because when I was in my 20s, my early 20s, I was on the run. I was not on the run, but I was go. I was wrestling. I was doing movies. I was traveling all over the place, doing God only know, all kinds of stuff. And then with the pandemic, I had to stop. And that's when I was like, wow, I have a lot going on. And I was able to stop and spend time with like my grandmother, my dog who passed away. So I was like, I'm glad I had those, those moments I could sit there and just relax with them. And it's like, that wouldn't have happened because I was so worried about getting to the next. Oh, I need to do this. I need to provide for this. I need to provide for that. If I get to this, then I can rest. But it's like, sometimes you can get there, but then you're like, wow, look at all the stuff I've lost because I was so busy trying to get something that I wanted when it was right there the whole time. And that's what struck me really well or really hard in this movie was, man, he was chasing something. He was the richest man in town. And that's not money wise. The guy who had money, hey, he had nobody. He was an ordinary man. He had no friends, nothing, but he had all the money in the world, but you could tell he was not a happy man.
Yeah, no, that's such a great point.
See George's frustration over the money, even when Sam drives away in his nice car and George walks up to his car and kicks the door closed because he's frustrated about his, broke down, crappy car. And he's not realizing what he really has, which is more than money can buy.
And I really thought his wife, like every scene, I was like, all right, his wife's going to leave him. His wife's going to leave him. But his wife never left him. Because I honestly did not know, that too, every scene, I was like, okay, someone's going to die. That guy's going to die. That guy's going to die. So the whole time I was like, okay. Because I really didn't know too much about this. And I was telling Bob about this when I was in film school. I was in a film class. This was about 2010. We had to pitch a movie idea in one of our classes, and I was pitching an idea, and my teacher's like, you can't make that because It's a Wonderful Life. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, okay, sounds like a good movie to me then.
Yeah. And here you liked it. Well,
Yeah.
I love what you said, Lepke, because I think of like even the movie, we get to see how many years span, you know, he meets his wife, then he has kids. Life does fly by. Like we can all talk about that. Tony, especially to you, you got kids, and you know, I posted today, I was with my niece, and like it felt like just yesterday, you know, my goddaughter, she was a baby, you know, I was holding her, and now she's already 3, you know what I mean? So Tony, obviously, you know, having, you know, a 30-year-old and a 27-year-old kid now, it's life does fly by, and you can't stop and slow down. You can't catch its wings. There's no slowing time down, you know, it.
And then another thing that I could add to Lucky's comment is, I think that in this movie also, just George seeing the people outside of himself, I guess, they put value on material things. You know, they're all like, oh, we have the rich guy. He has everything he wants, you know, then his friend, you know, everybody puts value on material things. You're not anything unless you have money or material things, but nobody actually stops and thinks about what they have outside if they didn't have any money, which at the end of the movie, when the angel is making him see that material things are not what is your worth, but what you've done for other people and the people that you have around you is what makes you rich, not possessions, you know?
Yeah. Now, Gus, while I got you there, what did that mean to you, the ending, you know, that whole, I wish I was never born, when he says that and thinks about, you know, when he's have you ever, you know, wondered those thoughts? Have you ever had those thoughts or anything like that? Or anything you understand?
Yeah. You know, I have, I can't say I haven't. You know, just things happen in life that make you question things, you know, and like I just said, you know, the world puts things like you're accomplished if you have this, that, this, and that, and that, and that, you know, and not on things that matter. So sometimes you can feel like you might not be worth more than what they're telling you that you are. But sometimes you just have to stop and realize what's important to me. It's money important to me? No, not really. Do I have friends? Do I have family that care? Then you have to look at yourself. Are you healthy? Are you out in the streets? Do you have a roof over your head? You just have to count your blessings, I guess you could say, to find your real worth and not what the world tells you that you should be to be worthy.
Yeah.
You know,
for me, I think of like even my own career sometimes, and then YouTube, I could say. I've always said this, you know, so like me as a personal trainer, even throughout slow times, I always say, whether I have 1 client or 100 clients, I'll keep doing it if I'm making a difference. Like I need to do it for the one that's showing up, for the 5, the 10, the 20. Do I want money? Yes. But like I got in this career to help change lives, and you need to keep. And so even with YouTube, when I started this, I said, look, if there's 3 or 5 people still watching, and I'm making a difference, or they enjoy the content or something, I need to keep doing it, you know, and it doesn't need to be every day or something, but like, there's people watching, there's people that care, you know. It's so hard sometimes though, and George clearly didn't necessarily know it, even though his wife obviously loved him. He didn't feel like that though, that he went through a period obviously there where he was like, hey, I'd rather be dead than go to jail. And I'm not going to be missed, kind of, you know, and
Mhm.
those are dangerous thoughts. And that's why I think that whole quote, you know, no man with friends is a failure, is so important, because we need friends to be able to say, hey, look, you're loved, you know, you belong here. Like, we got you, you know, we got your back.
But but I mean, I feel like with that quote, it's true, and I feel like George had friends, and he probably did feel the love of everybody around him, because he didn't grow up to be somebody mean. You know, you can tell that his family loved him. But I feel that with him, he was so focused on helping others that he really didn't stop to think about himself. Maybe he probably thought that it was selfish of him if he thought about himself when other people were in worse conditions than him, that maybe led him to think that he wasn't. Because we can tell, I mean, you can see when he met his wife, I mean, she was the most loving woman that they, like you said, that you could imagine or finding, you know? So I don't think that he probably didn't feel like he wasn't loved. Maybe he just didn't have time for himself to prove that to himself. I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think sometimes it helps to be told too. Hey, you know, some people find love in that way, you know what I mean, being told versus, and I know there's some people who are introverts who struggle to say it. Hey, I love you, or I'm here for you, you know. Some people struggle to say that. They don't know, you know what I mean. And then and some people want to hear it, they need to hear it. But Tim, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just, it's crazy how many lives George touched, though, without even truly realizing it. Like, one of the more powerful parts in the movie too is when Clarence is showing him everything, and he decides he wants to go to Bailey Park, which is still a cemetery. And when he runs across Harry's grave and finds out the men on the transport during the war all died because he wasn't there to save Harry. So not only did George touch the lives of everyone around him, he touched the lives of people he never even met before. Like, that is some powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Now, Fish, I know last to get to you here, what did that kind of, the ending, have you ever, I know we kind of briefly discussed this, and this is, you were saying you had a lot to say on this in particular.
Well, yeah, you know, the fact that he felt that he had no alternative to this, you know. Potter told him, you know, you're worth more dead than you are alive, with his insurance, his life insurance policy. So the fact that he felt that he had no other option but to turn to suicide to make sure that his family's taken care of, the business stays open, you know, even still to that point, putting others first, you know. I've had those thoughts of, you know, what if I wasn't here? What if I, growing up in the 90s and not being able to come out or not being able to talk to people about, you know, my feelings or how I was, what I was going through as a young teenage boy. You can, your mind can go some dark places when you don't have anybody to talk to and you're just in your head the whole time. What's wrong with me? You know, why do I feel like this? You know, it took a really long time for me to come to terms with who I am and to be happy about the life choices that I've made myself, you know. But I have had those thoughts when I was younger about what if I wasn't here? Would it even matter? Would I have even mattered? You know, it sucks, but you know, when you don't have anybody to talk to about, you know, stuff, your mind can go and get to some dark places. But you know, that's why I've always felt that whenever people come to me and talk to me about themselves, I'm always here. I'm always here to listen. I'm always here to, if you don't need advice, and sometimes you just need an ear, you just need somebody to talk to. That's why I always make myself open, because I didn't have that, but I always want to be that for somebody else. So, you know, yeah. But yeah,
It's-
love this
it's-
movie and made you think, and then made you realize. But hey, like I said, I without George saving Harry, those other guys would have would all died on that transport. So
poisoned, yeah.
touch one, and it's a butterfly effect. So
really is.
Like
yeah.
that movie Pay It Forward almost. I mean, I in a way
Yeah.
try to pay it forward. But I obviously, like Fish, you talking about you didn't feel like you had anybody, there was nobody there to talk to. I mean, that's goes to show how important that quote is, like he says. I mean, just to have people, just to have friends, and like you said, Gus, he had that. George had that. He, whether he knew it or not, I mean, everybody loved him, and we see that at the very end of the movie when the whole entire town comes.
The
and
entire
shows
town.
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's crazy. It's like it's supposed to be a running joke throughout the whole movie, but at the end, when he gets to that telegram and it's hee-haw, Sam Wainwright, tears, just tears, just yeah. So
And when he's holding his kid too, like
Mhm.
he just looks, you see that look. Sometimes that is enough in a movie. You just emotions, expressions, facial expressions, things like that. And when he's holding the kid, and I think it's him, and I think even his wife looks at him, kind of looks at everybody coming in. And I think he realizes in that moment, Gus, like you were saying, he had so many. I think in that moment, he's like, wow, the entire town like showed up for me. And they were happy to be there. They weren't forced or anything. They were so happy to be there and show up for him. It was great. I mean, and you got to think too. I try to put into perspective when I'm watching a movie like that, or say Rebel Without a Cause or something like that. And those are movies I loved in general. But to love a movie, for me, somebody who watches so many movies from the 70s, 80s, 90s and stuff, to watch something from the 40s and love it that much, to think how much would have I loved it in the 40s, or something like that. So it's an incredible movie. It's so well made. Well directed.
Talking about people in the 40s, if you look at the feature, the Vault. There's a Vault feature in this 4K that talks about that this movie was not popular when it first came out. It flopped in theaters because we, as a country, America was coming out of the war, so people didn't want to see good feeling movies. They wanted to see something related to how we're going to come out of this war. So movies related to the war, coming out of the war, were more popular than feel-good movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the special features also. All the work that they put into making this film during July, during the summer heat wave, trying to make it look like snow and everything, just all of the things that they went through trying to make this a Christmas movie. That's a lot. They did a lot back then. It's amazing what they can get by with. No special effects or anything like that.
I love James Stewart too. Oh God, I love
so good
James
in it.
Stewart. He's great.
yeah.
Um,
Becoming one of
this is
my
actually-
favorite.
He's good in everything. Everything I've seen him in.
Hey Tony, can you repeat when this movie was released again?
46.
No. What time?
Oh.
46.
Say that again.
What year? What month was it
One
released?
month of the year when
Oh.
they were aiming to release it,
So it was filmed in June
to come out as a Christmas movie.
to come out as a Christmas movie. Exactly. Well, they did all this work that it would be a Christmas movie. They had to film it in June.
I think it's
Um,
important that it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
so too, because I feel like, Eddie said, well, if you take out the Christmas stuff out of it, I don't think it would have the same feel, because I feel like most people are religious or more sympathetic with other people that they don't know during the holidays. Like if you see somebody, needing money any other day, you will be probably just look at them and pass by and don't even think about it. But I feel like the holidays bring not the best, because there's still people that are like the worst. But I feel like the majority, when the holidays come, they have a little bit more of a sympathetic spirit.
Yeah, more giving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are people who need this movie around the holidays, you know,
Yeah, like
more than throughout the year.
like
I mean,
the ending
I'm sure all the
is
years
something my mom and my sisters and my family would love, and trust me, I as much as I love like a sad, depressing movie, I'm all for a good ending, a good payoff, and this has it. This is something you root for him, though, you know, and it has a great storyline and powerful moments. So when I say I like depressing stuff, I do, but you know, it just depends on the movie. If it's done, you know. I can also handle sad endings, I guess I'm saying. But fans of something said should go ahead, Tim. Sorry.
I was gonna say, as an extra Christmas layer, though, Christmas is a Christian holiday. Christian angel, Christmas angel is what saves the day. Essentially, I mean, it's got religious undertones right there too. It's
yeah,
it's Christmas.
Should this movie be directly remade, not loosely remade, but It's a Wonderful Life 2023? God said, hell no, it would turn into a lifeless woke mess.
Unpopular opinion, I'm all for a remake in the only sense that I don't care if the remake is bad. Remakes always bring more people to the original. It happens all the time. So the remake could be terrible. More people will watch the original because of it.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, I almost remade it, so my teacher stopped me.
Yeah, you almost
Your teacher turned your idea.
He felt he was worthless, but it was opposite. Yeah, so they think he's an idiot, but they were the idiots. Maybe that's a parallel to George. He felt he was worthless, but it was the opposite. And it's a great point. Hardcopy Blue says, if you dig the synopsis, Gus, check it out. True Holland. There was a moment at the end with $8,000 where the guy working for Potter looks like he's questioning what the hell he's doing. Catch that. Heavy comment. Every day in the shower, I list everything I'm thankful for. Health, family, etc. It's natural to become jaded, so it's important to remind ourselves of what we have regularly. Yeah, absolutely. And I just saw, I'm assuming it was his kid, his son. Did you guys see that picture on his Instagram post? That was adorable.
I messaged him saying that his son looked like him, but a blonde version of him.
It was hilarious. That was one of the best photos I've seen on Instagram. It's his kid in
Kevin mode.
Kevin pajamas with his face. It was great. You guys got to go on his Instagram and see it. It was great. George has the connections. He's way more powerful, which he didn't realize till the end. Mama Blu-ray says hit that like button. Thank you. Makes sense. Interesting how that could affect the film's release, Gus. The film was released January 7th, 1947, according to Google.
I think that's wide though. They still did limited release stuff even back then. And Oscars,
yeah, they didn't just release on one day. It would be like this town got it this day, next, you know.
Right.
So back then it would travel around.
Not the Christmas season. Ben says, what's your favorite take on this movie? I like the Beavis and Butthead version. I've never seen that. Also, it's a Bundy full life. Oh my goodness. Tiana Loves Movie says, hey everyone, hopefully you're feeling better. I know you were under the weather. Real Nerd says this can't remake this ever.
I highly disliked Ghostbusters 2016, but the amount of people that watched the first Ghostbusters after that came out, that's priceless, man. People watched that movie for the first time because of how bad 2016 was.
Yep.
So,
and then it got us a new one, you know, that was thought was excellent.
Yes.
Where I was choked up at the end. So
I don't know. So I've said this before, and somebody made a good point. A friend of mine named Ben. I said, if the remake's gonna shit all over Wes Craven's legacy, and he's like, I disagree. He's like, if the remake is awful, it should give you more of an appreciation for the original. If anything, instead of crapping on his legacy, you should just appreciate the original more. If the remake sucks, it should have nothing. That shouldn't affect your thoughts on the original. And I thought that was a great point.
Okay, the original is always there.
Yeah.
And people always go back to it.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. No, just to clarify Eddie's comment. So the movie premiered in New York City on December 20th, 1946, and then it had a wide release on January 7th, 1947.
I think it premiered December to be for Oscars, and came out wide after, which still happens all the time now. We'll get movies that will release just to hit the Oscars, and then they'll be wide in January.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's a great point. 1917 was another one. It came out, and then like 2 weeks later, it came out in January. Wide. Tony said
play it in like a couple of cities, I think, like New York and Los Angeles and stuff in it, and then it's allowed to be considered for Oscars.
Yeah. Now Tony's movie and more. Hey Bob and everyone. He did a stream last night with KB. I missed it and then I caught the replay. It was awesome. Tony, thanks for being here.
Yeah, it was good. Tony.
Codebreaker says, "Hey, sup, Bob? Thanks for being here, Chris. I appreciate it." Mama Blu-ray remake is not recommended. I cannot imagine in a million years that this guy would ever watch It's a Wonderful Life. But appreciate you stopping by. That's my best friend. Let's see here. Planet Mondo. I don't know a single thing about this movie, but I'm delivering, and I figured I'd hop on and say what up. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. All right, love you guys. But another thing that makes total sense. He's coming for Gus, or is Gus going to? Thing that makes total sense is this: if we have to debate if it's a Christmas movie, is it really? No one is debating if Home Alone or Polar Express is a Christmas movie.
We're debating.
What's nice to me? What was that?
No, I mean, it's not the first movie that we're discussing if it's a Christmas movie. There's others that are also on that verge. Are they really Christmas movies? Like Die Hard? Just because.
Home Alone.
I mean, it is.
People that were in the building had it coming. I mean, who spends Christmas Eve in the work?
They're at a Christmas party, so if you take away the Christmas party,
now Gus is
what are they doing?
Tim out.
I mean, who has a
working on
Christmas
this
party
Saturday?
No, nobody.
Die Hard is definitely a Christmas
They had
movie.
it coming.
Fish, are you working Saturday?
Oh,
Yeah, me too.
more than likely. Yeah.
Gus is like, "How dare you guys work Christmas Eve? Your work sucks."
Yeah, no, trust me. Okay, I have 2 jobs. I'm off from Christmas Eve and Christmas Day from one of them. The other one's a movie theater. The other one's a
We're
movie
open
theater. So
365, yeah.
65. Yeah.
I feel like the 1 day a year, 2 day a year that everything should close should be Eve and the day off.
I
Now,
agree.
to play devil's advocate here with Eddie, I would say Home Alone is a home invasion movie, but
That's Home Alone. Home Alone, you can remove if there's the whole. If you can take it out of Christmas and it still happen, you can do that with Home Alone. I don't. What about Home Alone is specific to Christmas? They just go on
I'm saying
vacation.
Home Alone's a horror movie.
Yeah, he has a lot of poinsettias around the house.
Hard Copy Blue says, "I think we allow films to be Xmas movies when they aren't because the pool of true Xmas movies is fairly small. Eyes Wide Shut is not a Christmas movie, but I enjoy the fuck out of it every Christmas Eve." Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. We won't go into that rabbit hole.
It's a Christmas porn. I mean, if we have Christmas horrors and Christmas action, they can totally be Christmas porn.
And
Eyes Wide Shut.
I don't think this movie is really that debated by people. Like, I think, but the general consensus is this is a Christmas movie. Like,
Right.
I think only like movie nerds like us might debate this, but I think the general consensus is it's Christmas.
Right.
Yeah, like watching YouTube this year was the first time I've ever heard someone say it's not a Christmas movie. When I saw this, I was surprised how much Christmas was not in the middle, but it was bookend by Christmas. So I would never ever say it's not Christmas.
Derek, Tim, I think that's why Derek was telling you, don't call it top 25 community Christmas movies, call it holiday movies, because I think Derek's kind of like, people get upset when you call something Christmas, but if you say holiday, and Tony, I know I left a comment on your video recently, and I said great top 25 Christmas movies, and little did I know your title was top 25 holiday movies.
Right.
So I was like, I felt like an asshole after I said that, but
There's no reason to.
but it's one of those things where a lot of people will say holiday just to avoid that argument with somebody sometimes.
Yeah, I always try to avoid the arguments. That's what I try to do.
Yeah.
But then the other thing is, like, you can't judge the movie just by the middle of it. I feel like the middle is necessary to understand what the character is on Christmas Day and why the angel came down on Christmas Day. I don't think this movie would work without the Christmas
Right.
in it. I mean, you can take the middle part of it and and make it somehow, maybe instead of the angel, some friend comes and helps this dude. Then you take that religious Christmas aspect of the movie out, and then yeah, you can make a
I think
Disney movie without making
the
it.
the danger of getting into is something, especially a movie like this. Die Hard's a whole different story, but something like this, if you get into the debate of is this a Christmas movie like we are now, you might discount the power of the movie and the true meaning of the movie. Like whether this is a Christmas movie or not, or whether you see it really, it doesn't. Like the core of this movie is, you know, relationships, friendships, suicide, depression, love, family, you know, a lot of things like that, finances. I mean, it's a heavy movie, and that's really the last of it at the end of the day. And you know what? We're going to finish with this topic here. Tiana says it is, so that's it. She says, or no, that's not the one. Hold on. She said, hold on, right here.
All right.
Sorry, it was this comment. Tiana says it's a movie. It's a Christmas movie. So if Tiana says it is, Tiana says it is. That's it, right, guys?
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
Can't argue with that.
That's where.
Yeah. And but fans of something says there's so few real, true Christmas movies. We as a human race want more, so Christmas makes a cameo or is barely featured. Boom, Christmas movie. Well,
Can I say something about holiday Christmas remakes? If you think about, you know, we're all talking about how this movie should not be remade, but think about A Christmas Carol. If you've ever seen Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, that movie has been remade and remade and remade. They even got the Muppets Christmas Carol.
That's my preferred one.
Yeah, so they have all these things, but this the darker tone, and it's a dark movie too if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, the three ghosts coming to visit and show him what it would be like. Anyways, to me, I think that works well for A Christmas Carol, but it would not work well for this particular movie.
You know, I can see the Muppets doing this A Wonderful Life. I can totally see Kermit and Miss Piggy and the main characters.
Yeah.
I would watch it.
I would watch it too.
Would I?
Next year on Disney Plus, there'll be a whole series about it, right?
I've got a kind of a question, which was the topic of the whole stream here, but to the chat. I know we got 24 watching. I really appreciate everybody who's coming here. I was telling them before the stream started, I don't know who's going to come in here. It's a different stream. It's not your happy-go-lucky. This isn't Tim Talks Titties. This is Tim Talks Talkies. So it's a different stream tonight. So appreciate everybody who's stopping by. But if you have any questions for any of us or any thoughts that you wanted to share about the movie or what it meant to you, please drop it in the comments while we kind of continue talking here. So Tim, I know we kind of briefly talked about this, but if you wanted to kind of sum up what the movie meant to you, just kind of what the movie meant to you, how it affected you and things like that, if you wanted to kind of go ahead. I know we briefly talked about that, but yeah, I apologize.
So one of the main things is because James Stewart is my mom's favorite actor of all time. This is one of her favorite movies of all time. This movie has a special connection between me and my mom. I actually got to take her to the theater, 2-3 years ago, something like that, to see this in the theater. So this movie will always have that special connection between me and my mom. This is the movie that really turned me on into watching older movies. As I mentioned earlier, it's one of those movies that the more you watch it, the more the themes really hit home the older you get. So it's a special movie. It's one of my all-time favorites. It's in my top 10. I adore this movie, and it gets better every single time. I just gave it another rewatch 2 days ago, and it was just as good. And hopefully my mom is with me for a long time, but I will always have this movie as a kind of connection point between me and her, because this movie's really special to me.
And your mom, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was, huge Audrey Hepburn fan, right?
No, I kind of got. She did not like her. She likes her. I got that more myself, I guess, as I was diving into the older stuff. No, what I got from her is James Stewart, the love for older movies, but specifically James Stewart. She freaking loves him. So
you're still close with your mom.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
And like I said,
and
hopefully,
Tony, I know you said you talk to your mom every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. A little fun fact about Audrey Hepburn and myself and Tim. Every time Audrey Hepburn's name comes up or I see her, I just correlate Tim with her. Literally, like I was, well, not to be a downer at her, I was at a funeral, and one of the women there had an Audrey Hepburn purse, and I was like, oh my God, I was like, I know somebody who would just
Oh my
loves
God,
her.
no, you did.
And so yeah, I went up, we were talking, somebody introduced
There's
me to
Audrey.
her.
Yeah.
Oh, she was so nice. I ended up having a conversation with this woman for like a half hour.
Yeah.
And I sent Tim a picture of the purse. And I was just like, now every single time I hear her damn name, I'm like, oh, Tim Talks Talkies. So it's just kind of a funny thing.
Yeah, why didn't you get the purse from her?
Yeah,
I should have stole her purse at the funeral.
I didn't say steal. I said get it from her. Buy it from her. Do something.
Yeah, exactly, Tony.
And I should have sent it to you, Tim. I don't know what you would want with the purse, but
Oh, it would sit right there on that shelf.
Yeah.
you could sit
Yeah,
it
right next to Michael Myers. It'd look great.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So let me catch up with the kid chat here. Okay. So Hard Copy Blues got everyone cracking up with this one. Who remembers the Rugrat episode where Chucky wishes he was never born and had to be shown how fucked up all the babies were if Chucky wasn't born? Lefty remembers. Gus said laugh out loud. Mama Blu-ray said she's behaving herself tonight.
Yeah.
That's good. Sue is a
Sue
huge
would-
Audrey Hepburn fan. Yeah.
Yep.
I should have sent Sue the purse.
The purse.
And you guys could have just exchanged, whenever each one of you wanted to use it for different times.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Speaking of Audrey Hepburn, Tim, did you enjoy the Jennifer Love Hewitt movie that she did on the TV movie where she played Audrey Hepburn?
I did
Do
not
you
see
remember
that.
that?
I'm gonna have to
No,
check
I
it
didn't
out.
see that.
It's been a while. It was in the 90s.
Send me the name of that. I want to know now.
I am
I'll see if
going
it's-
to plug Tiana in here. Is it a shameless plug if it's my stream and I tell people to go subscribe? I don't give a crap.
No.
Go subscribe to Tiana Loves Movies, or I'm sorry, go follow her on Instagram. Awesome person. She's done a stream with like Ken on his World's Biggest Collectors, and I'm hoping to get her on my channel in the future.
She supports everyone.
Everybody.
Everyone.
Tiana's awesome, and like I said, I hope you're feeling better, Tiana.
Have you guys to see on her comment, by the way, have you guys seen Breakfast at Tiffany's before?
No, I have not. But Tim, it was a
Mm-hmm.
recommendation from you, so
What absolutely wonderful movie. But my gosh, Mickey Rooney's character did not age well at all.
No,
I saw you post about that.
It is so
it's hard to watch.
It's
really
it's cringy. It's cringy. It's
Uh-huh.
rough. Yeah.
it's bad.
Yeah, he looks
Like-
bad.
He plays the worst stereotyped version of an Asian
Like,
man you possibly
It's,
can.
it's turned up past 100. It is. Yeah. It is off the charts.
movie-
Yeah.
That movie makes me cry when she kicks the little kitten. in the
spoilers.
yeah.
I've never seen it. No spoilers.
What?
Hear about
Oh my
it.
God. Okay, that movie's old. I feel
So
like
don't
if
go
you haven't
kissing your
seen it.
kittens,
Spoiler. Okay, you're gonna have tissues.
for Breakfast at Tiffany's.
And
I know
the
I got a
cat's
watch
name is
list
Cat.
from Tim, and that's one of them on there, so I got to check it out.
Anyway, sorry.
Hard Copy Blue says, question for Bob. I feel like you're primed for an epic media wall reveal upon getting settled with your move. Any plans for that? Yeah. Actually, I guess now's a good time to say it. I'm probably not going to be doing any live streams for probably in the next month and a half. But I'm hoping to post a video once a week. Yeah, I'm going to separate out. I don't know how you guys do it. I'm going to separate it all by boutique labels.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I'm not going to do like horror or anything like that. It's all going to be boutique labels. I'll have box sets at the top and stuff. I got my brother-in-law coming over because I'm useless with tools. I could set it up, but I'd rather somebody who knows what they're doing do it better than me. So I'm going to get like 5 more shelves or 6 more and just have him come over and buy him some pizza and whatever.
Are we getting a room tour video then?
I will, yes. Late January,
Yeah.
early February. I might just do an apartment tour because I'm probably going to need more than one room.
Hell yeah,
So-
man. Not only are they fun to watch, that will probably be one of your most viewed videos. No joke.
Mhm.
People love those types of videos.
Yeah, and I'll roll out basically. I have a list for like everything. I'll roll out a video a week of like my entire collection, and instead of doing it, here's my Blu-ray, here's my 4Ks, I'm gonna go, here's my Arrow, here's my Scorpion releasing, here's Scream Factory, here's Shout Select, here's this, that, and it'll just make it more organized. Otherwise, it'd be a 14-hour video. Nobody wants to sit through that. So, let's catch up here. I know Huck. He said, "Hey, what's going on? Thanks, Eddie. I'll catch the replay." Shout out to Huck too. I watched his, I don't know if you guys saw it, his 5 hidden gems movies video on his channel. And let me just say, he had Peanut Butter Falcon. Well, I guess I'm spoiling it. But
I did see that. Yeah.
He had Peanut Butter Falcon on there and Untamed Heart. And Untamed Heart is a fucking masterpiece. That is a hidden gem if I've ever seen one.
Yes.
I actually ordered that movie after I saw his video.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Untamed Heart is so freaking good. Gus, go buy it.
If you like a tearjerker, right?
I think it's Kino.
Yep, Kino
Yes.
Lorber. Yes,
Yeah.
I love that.
I've ordered a couple of movies after he's recommended them because he's always on point. I can't remember.
Yeah.
There was a Christopher Reeves movie that he recommended in a past video. I ordered it like immediately after. I can't remember the name of it now.
It's probably the same
Well,
video.
I messaged him after that and I was like, Huck, 2 of those movies are in my top 100, so I trust all your opinions moving forward.
Yeah,
I
I've
was
never
like,
even heard of Untamed Hearts until that. And
I love
it's so
recommendations
good.
because when you do, somebody like, let's say Fish has recommended movies to me a
Somewhere
lot.
in Time.
He'll get to
That's
know
that's
whether
what I bought.
That's a good movie.
somewhere in
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking about recommendations, Reindeer Games. I watched that for the first time. It was good. I really enjoyed that. That's a really good film. I enjoyed that.
I found the original one sheet and I sent it to Bob. I was like,
Yes.
Bob, it's like
Yep.
$14. It wasn't much at all.
Yeah, I gotta get that. When I get my own place and I actually have posters going up, I'm going to have like titles that nobody's heard of, like Gladiator from 1992. Like Tim has Chill Factor. Nobody knows what that is.
So that's the day I subscribed to Tim. I saw some like random short and he was looking at the TV and I was like, oh my god, that's Chill Factor.
Yeah.
Subscribe. And then I think I even commented. I was like, dude, you have a
If you
Chill
guys
Factor
haven't
poster.
seen Chill Factor with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Skeet Ehrlich, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
It's such
Really?
a fun movie.
Go watch Chill Factor. It's only on DVD, but you guys could break into Tim's house and steal the Chill Factor poster if you'd like to. I know Nick has talked about doing it. He said, don't let him over at your house. I don't know if you watched that stream, Tim, but Nick was on with KB and he's like, Tim, shout out to Tim. If he ever lets me over at his house, I'm taking all of his posters. He's got the greatest poster collection I've seen in my entire life.
I feel like I
But
feel
he's
like I
not
annoy
really going to
him.
break in. Don't worry, Tim. He loves you.
I feel like I annoy him because every time, even if you see just a corner of it, I was like, dude, Chill Factor. He's like, yes, I understand. Yep, I have the Chill Factor poster. Soon it's not going to be up anymore. He's like, I don't want Cody to comment on the damn Chill Factor poster.
Yeah. Love Tony's video showcasing his collection, best collection on YouTube.
I have
The next
Fly Away
comment is
Home up on the
killer.
wall too. Do you like Fly Away Home?
I do, but not as much as Chill Factor. Chill Factor really hits me there.
Hard copy blues. Bob got Reindeer Games more press than it had during its theatrical run. Laugh out loud. Everyone posting about Reindeer Games because of Bob. Honestly, there's been over 10 people that have bought it. I'm not joking. Since
I'm
the
sure.
So
Paramount is
maybe-
probably like, we need to release this in 4K. We just had an upstick of people buying this thing.
I was actually at Vintage Stock today, and I was like, man, what did I come in here for? And it was Reindeer Games, and I forgot, and I was just kind of looking around. I was like, and then you just said it, and I was like, damn, that's what I was in Vintage Stock for today. They had a copy, and I completely I forgot what I went in there for, so I was gonna grab it.
Did you get it? You didn't grab it?
I didn't because I forgot what I was in there for. I'll go back tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Thursday. I'll go back.
Mama
Thursday.
Blu-ray says we watched Reindeer Games last night. Did you and Sue like it? Because I know Sue bought it. But the thing is, there's no theatrical cut on either one of their Blu-rays. See, Tiana bought it too, and
Oh,
I'm
you
on
did
eBay
read
auction for Reindeer Games right now. But there's no theatrical cut, and a lot of people actually, I guess, prefer the theatrical cut. So, and she says, yes, we enjoyed it. See, nobody knows what it is. It's easy to kind of joke, and I know it's all fun and games. And I think Coco probably stole the show when she said, nobody lets Bob play in any reindeer games. But yeah, honestly, I mean, it's a good movie. It's
I
nothing
think it mainly
groundbreaking, but
it mainly got shit though because that was during Ben Affleck's like critically terrible stretch. You know what
Yeah,
I
it
mean? He
was
had
2000.
a lot of movies that people hated during that time frame.
It's like the first J-Lo stretch.
I'm a
Oh, with
bias
J-Lo?
though because I grew up like so here's the story. Not to get I won't go into detail, but my dad wanted me to I wanted to go see it. I was so excited seeing the TV spots. I was so excited. I was like, "Who's the hot blonde dad?" And I was like 9 at the time, you know, and it was Charlize Theron, of course. And my mom was like, "He's not seeing that. It's rated R for sexuality, nudity, and violence." My dad's like, "Sorry, I can't," you know. So then he bought the VHS and he had me watch it. And so like there's nostalgia to it, and like it plays a important part of my childhood, I guess you could say. Just anything I watched with my dad growing up is just special to me though. So I always appreciate that. But let's kind of get back, reel it in here. Tony, did you want to talk about kind of what the movie meant to you? And sorry to put you on the spot after Reindeer. Don't talk about what Reindeer Games meant to you. Talk about
Well, you know, I rewatched It's a Wonderful Life. I watched it today. And I don't know, to me it's just it's a good movie. I like the fact that it shows someone struggling. It was really real life type. You know, you think about movies and how people around the holidays are just all cheery and happy. But, you know, the holidays are a rough time for a lot of people. I know that what he was going through is more of his life, just general life, you know, running a business, having a family, doing all these things. It wasn't really focused on Christmas. It just happened at Christmas time. But if you think about Christmas time, those things are important. Those things about being able to provide for your family, you know, give gifts, all those things. To me, it's a good time for people to reflect on how good they do have it. You know, growing up, my mom would always say that it's not about getting gifts. It's about being with your family and your friends, which you don't really think about as a kid. But as you get older, you know, you kind of bring that to yourself. Think, oh, you know, it is about family. It is about friends. Because, you know, like I said, I've been married 30 something years and the kids are grown. When the kids were little, Christmas time was fun. It was fun watching them open their gifts and do all these things. As you get older, they're grown. You know, it's not as fun as it used to be, but it's still a magical season. You're trying to put on that facade that, hey, everything's magical, but it's not magical for everybody. As you get older, you have family members that pass away. You think about them at Christmas time. It can be a very depressing time. So it's good to see a movie kind of reflect on those things.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate it. Everybody has a different opinion. I'm all about hand movements.
Very well said, Tony.
Yeah.
I agree.
Gus says, laugh aloud, true. Tiana loves movies. Do you guys have It's a Wonderful Life on Blu-ray or 4K? Well, I spoke for Tony and I said I could speak for Tony and say he has the 4K Steelbook. Am I right, Tony?
Oh yeah, I've got 4 different things.
Yep.
They put out a different edition every single 5 years.
Del says, what's up, guys? So I know you, Lapkey, you have the DVD, right?
Yeah, it's like a 2-disc DVD.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was all that if they had the 4K, I would have bought it. But now I'm gonna get the 4K
edition.
Gus, you got the
slipcover version.
Slipcover, yeah, that's a nice.
I bought this on Black Friday.
Fish, you got the 4K Steelbook, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I got it.
I was surprised that it wasn't more available.
Oh, Lopke, you should check Walmart because I think Walmart has the 4K Steelbook for $9.99.
This is where I got it with Walmart.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, Gus.
Ooh,
that is nice.
Yeah,
I've seen that one. That's the one that has the making of. That's not on this. 4K.
Tim's on eBay right now checking for that.
The Platinum Anniversary Edition. Hey Tim, I wanted to say something about the title cards at the beginning of the movie. I love the old classic movies that do fancy title cards and stuff. It's just, to me, I like that kind of stuff.
Well, that was awesome. It was like
special about you would see them like peeling away the paper and stuff like that with old title cards. It's something special. You don't get that nowadays.
The last movie that I remember having that is another Christmas movie. The Family Stone has that kind of title cards when you
Family
get into
Stone's
it.
amazing.
I never knew Family Stone was a Christmas movie.
Tim, did you watch it yet?
Neither.
No, not yet. I'm gonna get to it before Christmas.
I know a couple people were gonna get around to it.
I'm gonna get that in Violent Night because Violent Night just went up on digital rental.
Oh, for 4K or oh, well, the 4K is out there too somewhere, on Orbit or something like that. Movie Hunter cracks me out every time Steelbook is said in his stream. He's like, "Did someone say Steelbook?"
Yeah.
It's just
He's
perfect.
listening.
It
No
is
steal,
so-
no deal.
It is so funny. No steal, no deal. Yep, I got the Frighteners in butt opening on Christmas Day. Yeah,
Hard copy asked about it. So
yeah.
Did you get the which edition did you get?
the same one as you, the
Okay.
regular, that white one.
Yeah.
So that's
I-
not getting an American 4K release then.
Not till like 2026 or something. They don't have the rights to do it in America.
Holy cow.
And I may be dead by then, so I wanted to go ahead and get it.
When that one on Orbit,
You know what
Go
kind
say
of
that,
hard
Joe.
life I
Treat
live.
yourself.
No.
when that went up on Orbit, I about had like sticker shock because it was like $95. But I knew they had very limited quantities, and didn't have time to think about it, so I just added it to cart and checked out.
It's a
And
nice
just
set.
on the topic of Tony's death, he actually told me that when he passes away, I get his 4K Rambo Steelbook collection. So
Yeah, everybody just go for it. Just
I want his
go
wired
along,
trees.
Just break into the house, get it all.
See a bunch of people looting in his house.
My wife and kids upstairs, they won't even know what's going on.
I'm gonna bring Bob's knife. If anybody wants to fight me for anything, I'll just cut them.
Gosh, that's a knife, isn't it?
While everyone's at Tony's house, I'll be at Tim's house getting the Chill Factor poster.
Yeah. And Fish will be working.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I'll be working.
But one thing really quick, obviously this has been a very fun stream. But one thing, sometimes you get off topic. I don't know if it's just me or you guys enjoy this too. Sometimes I enjoy just, you could go live and not have a theme to talk about and just talk, and in the conversations would flow. We could talk for 4 hours and not have a theme, and I feel like we'd just be able to. I don't know if that's just me, but I mean, it's awesome how I know the central theme is movies and it's very easy for us to get along, but it's so easy. I talked to Huck about this, how easy it is for us to like just instant chemistry with so many people. You just like me and Lapkey, for example. I mean, we talked on Instagram, for example, but sometimes I've met somebody and I'll ask them, "Hey, do you want to be in a stream?" And it's the next day and I've hardly talked to them. And then there's instant chemistry. It's crazy how that works. I mean, because there's no guarantee you're meeting somebody across the world, across the country. And so it's just awesome. I just enjoy
What's
it.
crazy is we could talk other stuff, but what brings us together is movies. I'm terrible at like small talk with people if they have absolutely no interest the same as me. I cannot carry a conversation with them at all. Like
That's how I am too.
I can meet someone that's a big outdoors hunter type, and I've got nothing to say. I got no connecting point with you to even start with. So it's just silence.
But if you talk about Audrey Hepburn's purse, that'll get your attention.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's connected
Now-
to movies, It's like everything connects to me. Like when I have a conversation with someone, somehow it ends up going back to a movie or something. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This comment that Tony's wife will have a yard sale, everything $1 a piece, while Tony in his grave is screaming, "No!" That's
They
pretty
know
much.
what's valuable down here.
Dude, that's good.
That's good. Huck says, "So true, Bob. No topic. I do that every Tuesday morning." In all fairness, and I think I speak for everybody, Huck would find a way to he would be watching paint dry, and he would find a way to make it entertaining. Huck is one of those people. Give him whatever topic,
Yeah,
and
very entertaining.
he'll find a way. I mean, he's a pure entertainer. Like, he knows what he's doing. It should have its own unboxing video. Haha, Ken. I love the movie groups. And Ken, hope you're having a blast. Did I miss Ken? I'm sorry.
Yeah, he says he's
Yeah,
gonna
and-
grab the crabs.
I am
He's
breaking
doing
into
Tony's
Tony's
crabs.
house on my way back from Florida, grabbing these crabs first. Mid Evolutions in the house. Thank you. I hope you are enjoying. Is it Disney World he's at, right?
It's
Yes.
Disney World, Disneyland's
Disney
Cali,
World.
I believe.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob,
Hopefully you're having fun. Hopefully you bought your wife a candy bar. And yeah,
Butter a pretzel that was shaped as
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse. That was
I
pretty
saw
cool.
the pretzel.
What's that?
Probably $75.
No salt on that thing either. Weak. That was weak. That was weak.
Unsalted.
Ken, it looks like you guys are having fun time. So hopefully you are. I saw the fireworks and everything. Ken, hope you're having a blast. Yep.
I would love to go there around Christmas and Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Just see all the
there
lights and stuff.
Christmas, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually there
Right.
during both periods. It's It's awesome, really.
Yeah, it's pretty, but it's nuts too. It's busy.
Let's just all go to Disney World. How about that?
Actually, speaking of there's so many great people. When I talked about doing a road trip, I know somebody in California in particular was like, "Hey, come out to California, and we'll go to like Disneyland." And it's just so cool the way you meet different people and people are interested in getting together and different ideas.
Bob, just come out to the coast, have a few laughs. It'll be a good time. He's like stuck. He's stuck in a vent. He's like, this
really quick, Tim, can you do that really quick? Because that is the greatest. You posted that on your Instagram.
I can't do it. I mean, I come out to the coast, have a few laughs. I can't do it.
You did it in the stream the other day, and you did it.
I can't do things on cue.
Yeah.
So much pressure.
Full screen's awkward, isn't it?
Ken says bought her more than a candy bar, 2 sweatshirts for $130. Well, hopefully,
you know how many Blu-rays you can get for $130?
That's his following comment.
Ken, can we expect to see a audit on her sweatshirts at the end of the month?
Could you imagine if Michelle had a hobby that costs as much as Ken? That would
oh man,
that'd be so much. Because what, he would spend like $800 a month.
Yeah.
He's living the life. Must be nice to be an Oscar winner, basically.
My Blu-ray fund is shot until March.
He has his name on a Disney World bar. Did you guys see the photo?
He what?
He posted a photo from Disney World where his name is written on the wall of a bar.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I thought you said he got
barred from Oscar Disney gets your name at Disney World.
He was talking about escape schoolgirls or whatever, like Bob was.
I think that would be a little hypocritical of me, he says. Lapke, did you want to talk about kind of what the movie means to you? And
so I said it earlier, so I'll just say that my first time watching this was a couple days ago, and I'm kind of mad at myself because I could have been enjoying that my whole life, but I didn't. My whole life, people have been saying it's super long and that it's boring, and it was neither of those. It was 2 hours and 15 minutes. I was expecting it to be 3 hours or something. So it's a little longer than what you're used to nowadays, but it's really not that long, and it's far from boring. So if anybody is not watching it because of that factor, just don't do it and go watch it. If you're thinking about because it's black and white and you don't want to watch it, well, there's an option to watch it in color if you really want to do that. So, but yeah, it's great. And I think if I watched it my whole life, it would mean a lot more to me. So I'm grateful that I watched Tim start talking about it. And because that really, I really focused in when he started talking about that. So thank you for, speaking about that, Tim. And then Tony, thanks for reaching out to me, or Bob, I'm sorry. Bob, thanks for reaching out to me and asking me to do the stream. And I was like, okay, cool. I got to watch this then. And then I actually, you had me watch it if I liked it, do the stream. And I absolutely loved it. I fell in love with it. As soon as I finished it, I took a picture of it and sent it to Bob. And I was like, this was great. And it was like 3:00 in the morning. So thanks, Bob.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I don't sleep much. So
neither do I.
Rich knows that I'm up at 4 or 6 a.m., 7 a.m. I just don't sleep. Movie Hunter says after your 40th watch, it got boring to me. Tim would disagree. He's seen it 75 times and he still enjoys it. So, all right, Gus, what did the movie mean to you, buddy?
To me, just I think what everybody just said. It's a movie that portrays the good and the bad of people. That not many movies do nowadays. When we think of holiday movies, it has to be cheery, happy. We don't want to see anything sad because we have 364 days that we probably hear about bad things, but we want to check out from reality. But this movie puts things into perspective that sadness is part of the world, 365 days, and one day we can make a difference on somebody's life if we wanted to. Yeah.
All right. Fish, I know you've been a little quiet. Sorry, we didn't.
No, you're good. You're good. Like I said, I'm here to enjoy being a part of this. I really am. Thank you for having me. Like I said, I just watched this fully for the first time last year, and it caught me by surprise because, like I said, I tried to watch it in high school and it didn't click. But I'm older now, so I'm glad I did watch it. And like I said, it has become one of my holiday favorites. I've actually got it on right now over there on mute, but I've been playing it since we started the live stream. Just have something on the TV on the side here. But I love this movie. I do, because of all the things that these guys have already talked about, as well as one person can make a difference. In lives, and you don't think you are that person, but you are that person. That means that can make a difference. Just in even one person's life. So I do love that, where you actually come to realize that you just single solo you can mean so much to so many people. So that's the one thing that I do love about this movie. The relationship between Donna Reed and James Stewart's characters, fantastic, perfect couple. I love Donna Reed. She's been one of my favorites since a child. Used to watch the Donna Reed show on Nick at Night. But James Stewart is becoming one of my favorite older actors. I just watched quite a few of his movies recently, so falling in love with him as well. But this movie, fantastic. I love it. Like Lepke said, I wish I hadn't waited so long. I could have been enjoying this my whole life, but I'm glad I'm enjoying it now. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely appreciate that. Just a heads up to everybody in the chat. Fish did get a haircut, so he could look good for all of you today. So.
You're looking good, Fish. Thanks for thinking of us.
Yeah.
I was worried you weren't going to have a haircut, so I'm glad you did.
Mel is in the house. She says, "What is up, movie lovers?"
I don't know if I mentioned this during the stream, by the way, but I don't know if you guys knew this was James Stewart's first movie back after coming back from World War II. I don't know if you guys knew
I
he
didn't
was
know
in World War
that.
II. Yeah,
Yeah,
movie back.
a lot of celebrities did volunteer. Yeah.
You know what I also learned from this movie? That I think we all should pitch in and send Mel a heating blanket.
You can always tell how cold it is because her jacket gets tighter and her beanie gets lower. It's like, oh, that poor thing is just freezing.
I
know.
told her that in one of her videos. I was like, that hat's going to be covering the whole face soon. Del said, Tim, I just watched Chop Around the Corner for the first time. It's no Red Rider, but I don't know what's BB gun, but I liked it.
It's and for Shop Around the Corner, that's another James Stewart, if anyone's interested.
Is it Christmas?
Yeah, it's around Christmas time. People would have the same argument where like Christmas isn't key to the plot, but it's around Christmas and it's on my personal Christmas list. It's really good. It has Margaret Sullivan, and I started reading. I didn't realize Margaret Sullivan and her family were so not cursed, but like she killed herself with drugs. Her daughter killed herself, and her son killed himself.
Dang.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I want to read like a book about her life because oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was so dark.
Mm.
Gus says Mel, and Mel says Gus. Gus, it looks like you're slacking on the letters there. She's got more letters than you.
He's busy right now. He's in a stream.
Yeah, you're falling behind, Gus. It might be because of the caps locks. I don't know.
Yeah, Gus, what's a big idea?
Hey Mel, Killer Mel,
There's
what's
Killer.
up, Del? Rapkey, his dudeness.
His students.
Looking good, Fish. Look at that. Nice words, Fish, and may I say you're looking very fly. I'd say you're looking dapper too. Nice hair, cute Fish. Look at that. Oh, nice hair, cut Fish. Okay, nice hair, cut Fish. My bad. I mean, it works too, right? Either one works, Tiana. You are hilarious, Gus. Clark, Mel's frozen from the waist down. Yeah. Very true, very true. All right, so yes, Mel, catch the replay if you'd like. It was a little heavier topic, but it was very fun. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. I thank you for coming on. This has been honestly wonderful. You see what I did there?
Yeah.
It's a wonderful stream.
Yeah, it's a wonderful.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yep. Yeah, that's what he put on his Instagram. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I thought about it for 5 days and I got that. No.
No, this was a lot of fun. Honestly, it's so funny because when I do a stream, like you'll stream with certain people and you're just like, oh, that was so much fun. There was such good chemistry between us. We need to do it again. And then you'll do another stream with a bunch of different people and you're like, I need to do it more with those people. There's good chemistry. And every time you do a stream, isn't it always like that, Tim, Tony, any of you guys? It feels like that.
I'm new to streaming and it's been a blast so far. This is my 3rd time being on a stream and I thank everybody who invites me and has me and enjoys me.
Oh,
puts
crap.
up with me.
I did what Tim did. Crap. I didn't put the links in the description down below.
I noticed
I
that.
still didn't update that. Oh man.
What, Tim?
I still didn't update that. I just thought about that. We talked after the. I'm blaming work.
But go subscribe. Lapkey just got a new channel. He didn't start it yet, but he's gonna start posting videos. So go subscribe. I will post some links in the description afterwards. I'm sorry. You know what? While I'm doing letting everybody kind of close us out here and introduce themselves, I'm gonna literally put their links in the description down below just in case you're not subscribed to them. So I'm gonna do that now if I can figure out how to. So anyways, Tim, go ahead and talk for a bit while I do this.
Talk for a bit. Bob's doing what I should have done in the first place on my stream. Dang it. I can't believe well, I'm Tim and I like movies. Yay, movies. But this is a really good stream though. Seriously. I adore this movie. It was really great talking this movie with awesome people. Not just touching on how great the movie is as a whole, but just touching so much on the themes of it. Because as we all mentioned, it can be a very heavy movie, but it comes together by the end. And man, will it bring a tear to your eye. It is such a great movie. I don't know what else to say.
Keep talking.
Keep talking. Well, do you want me to switch to show Summertime and I could pimp out Summertime more?
Tony, what are your thoughts?
No, Summertime. We've had enough.
Tim, I watched Mildred Pierce last Sunday. Mildred Pierce.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I can't wait. That's getting a 4K. That's so good.
No, it was so good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, Joan Crawford is always good.
Oh yeah.
I bought the movie in the last Criterion sale, and now it comes out in 4K, and I don't mind wasting more money on it.
I was actually going to pick up the Criterion, and I picked it up. There was one copy in my store. I shook it. The disc was out. It was like loose. I'm like, screw that. It stays behind. And now 4K is coming. So, yay.
Yeah, it was in my little stack when I was going through that sale too. And yeah, I was like, oh, I'll wait. And I'm glad I did.
Joan Crawford, yeah, she was. There's so many classic actors and actresses. I guess that's the thing to take away from this too. Watch more old movies, people. There's
definitely.
so much good stuff out there with old movies.
Night of the Hunter.
No, Night of
the Hunter. Oh man, that's another one though with really dark themes that you can discuss on. Because for what is that, 55? I think it is. It's shockingly dark with some of the scenes.
Yes, I agree.
That's so good though. And
people complain about the kiss in the mouth.
Yeah. But I pimped out Night of the Hunter and Summertime enough. I got Tony to watch both of them. So my life's goal is complete, really.
Shrinking Man was good too. That's another.
You guys like Wendy Shelving?
I like the Darkwing Duck.
I cannot edit the list until it's done, so I will link them up. But Gus does not have a channel. We're trying to talk Gus into doing like a food and movie channel. But yes. All right. Tony, go ahead and kind of tell everybody where they can find you.
First off, I this is probably the worst being on the full screen. I hate that the most. But you can find me on my YouTube channel. You can find me on Instagram. One thing that is coming up, I've been doing a video every single day. I upload a video every day since before October. And so there's a video every day. But before the end of the year, which is just, less than 2 weeks, there'll be a room tour. You'll get to actually see all my collection, and you'll get to see what's in front of the camera. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I've been taking my time with it. Wanting everything to be perfect, which it never is perfect. But yeah, that's something that you can be looking forward to if you like those kind of things.
Tim got an erection. You should have seen it.
I did. I totally did. But speaking on your whole wanting it to be perfect, man, that feels like such a barrier with so many videos, or even when I started the channel. You always want things to be perfect, and it will never be perfect.
Yeah, never finished.
No, never finished.
Yeah. Hook says doing great, Lapkey. My Killer Podcast, Peas in a Pod. Tim and Bob are. Appreciate that. I always enjoy hearing that. Thanks, Huck. I'm having a blast. Keep talking. Tony said, screw your summer. Do you bleach your teeth? They're very white. Let's put them on screen and let them get a big old smile in there.
Just the
you know what?
lighting.
I have seen Christmas Story. I don't really like the original Christmas Story. I'm in the minority. And then Lapke said, laughing aloud, no. But thank you. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, am I just promoting myself now? You just
Dude Who Loves Movies. That's his channel name. I'll have the links. I can't do it now because I can't do it while I'm live.
Yeah, so I'll be starting a channel called Dude Who Loves Movies in January. Hopefully, more of the beginning rather than the end. And I just started an Instagram at Dude Who Loves Movies. So just look me up there, and I'll be posting on when I get my channel started. So come find me. Let's have a few laughs, and yeah.
Have a few laughs.
That's all I got to say about that.
I love your avatar picture, by the way. You said Side Hustle made it for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's excellent. It's really good.
Thank you. Yeah, he threw it together for me. Oh, I don't know if he threw it together for me. He could have been working day and night on it, but yeah, he did that for me.
Actually, that's funny you talk like, yeah, I feel like some people, like with my thumbnails, when I go live, because I'm not as creative as Tim, Tim totally helps me with it. Like he puts together thumbnails for me for the live streams. So shout out to Tim for that. And Fish, I know you sometimes will sprinkle in something for some thumbnails. I'm trying to get more creative with it, and like Nick's helped me out with my intro on my channel. I know some people have mentioned that, so there's nothing wrong with getting help. Or like I know Huck is really good at editing and he helps people out. Like don't be ashamed to like say, hey, I this person helps me edit this or helps me with my thumbnail. Like Tim is incredible thumbnail maker, whatever. So I just let him get creative with it, and he enjoys it. I think.
Is that Photoshop, or is it like an app you guys use? Because it's Photoshop.
It's an app. I did it on my iPhone. I have 3 different apps I use, and I bounce between them for the different parts. So like I have an app that will do the photo part, another part that does the text. And then I have another one that if I turn things black and white or recolor them. So yeah, I have 3 separate apps I do.
It's good to know. Thank you.
I started to edit more, but like I'm still learning the whole like thumbnail thing that Tim's talking about. That's just way over my head right now.
Yeah. Or you can just be like Ken and be like, heck, I'm not recording this again.
All right, Gus. Tell everybody where they can find you on Instagram.
Well, my handle, I need to create a handle that's easy to remember. But if you follow any of these awesome people, you can find me, or you can find me in the chat in any of your local live streams. I'm always on in all of them at some point. So that's where you
Gus,
can find me.
When are you going to make Mel's dreams come true?
I don't know. That's a tough
movie channel. Mid-level media, about damn time. Look at that Clark Griswold standee Dell on movies. Looking forward to that channel. Yeah, everybody is really excited about that channel. And you know, Mika is another one that supports everybody, and she's going to be starting up a channel with her sister And not only that, the Lost Girls are going to be doing some stuff in 2023, and Born to Be Rad. I know the Rad Pack has some pretty incredible stuff coming up. So a lot of good content creators having some exciting stuff in 2023. So
yeah, there's a lot of. Did you guys follow Bearded Film? I think it's Bearded
he's
Film
starting
guy.
this.
He's starting one up, and yeah, so that's pretty cool. More people to the community. I like that.
Yeah, and he's a really cool guy too. So
yeah.
Fish with that beautiful haircut. What you got
Speaking
for us?
of cool,
All right, guys. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram, Fish_the Film Collector. Right now, just doing hauls. I thought about doing the video of like Bob's doing, or showing off his collection slowly but surely. So I thought about doing one of those as well. But yeah, just little things coming to the channel. I am 8 subscribers away from 200. Shameless plug there. So yeah, go like the channel. Like I said, just little things, nothing crazy right now. I'm still growing. So I want to thank Bob for thinking of me, having me on this. Like you said, good discussion, talking about some stuff that really doesn't get discussed a lot in the movie community, talking about, actual real life topics. So glad to be a part of it. Glad to share the screen with you guys. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Gus over here said Lost Girls. Mid-Evolution will be popping as well. Just wait. Look at that. I'm excited. Tony, he's got me excited. I think a lot about the three of us needing to do something like that. So did you see Tony's face when I said I think a lot about the three of us? So
Ken's going to start a third channel, and you guys will have your own channel. I wouldn't doubt it. I
don't know about that. When is Mid-Evolution doing their first stream, Ken? Yeah, I guess we're gonna wait for Ken to answer that if he's still in there. So I don't know. But yes, I'm not gonna be doing many streams, or if any, for probably until I move. But if Ken reaches out to me, damn it, Mel. If Ken reaches out to me, I will definitely be on that, of course. Mel's always picking on me. It's okay. I pick on her too. So thank you so much. Like I said, guys, this was a lot of fun. And yeah, we'll have to definitely do it again sometime. Is there any streams coming up this week or anything that anybody knows of? I don't know.
Yeah, there's going to be a cool one on Born to Be Rad on Friday.
December 30th.
No, they're doing a Corey Feldman one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then December 30th.
I know the Rad Pack has December 30th.
So I'm looking forward to those two.
Yeah.
I actually forgot to promote this. I'll be on Mega Mike the Movie Man's channel on Thursday night. We're going to be discussing Avatar: The Way of Water.
Yeah, and I'll be on his channel tomorrow night doing box set.
Lots of Mega Mike.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of streams. I'm just laughing at Ken.
And I'll be in all those chats chatting it up as well. So
our first live stream will be Lost Boys vs. Fright Night, completely original. Oh, geez. Love the stream and some of the more real discussions within it about life and happiness. Thank you, panel. Yeah, I've got some more stuff I have planned with some other people that wouldn't be your typical unboxings or top 5 movie rankings or something like that. I've always wanted to venture out. I'm a very honest, open book. I enjoy doing unboxings, but I wanted to do more on my channel, whether they get the views or not. I don't really care about the views. I know that there's certain people that watch all my content, and that's all that matters to me. So, I like to venture out, and this was a lot of fun trying something new. So I appreciate you guys joining me for this.
Thank you for having
me.
Yeah, thank you.
Never then a full on in retrospective never been done.
Did you see that comment prior to that? Your first stream will be Lost Boys
versus very original. And
we laugh, but we'll be there to watch.
Right.
I've been shopping around for a headband.
And Tim, figured you'll come with the beanie. And then maybe Ken can grow out a beard like Justin. That'd be funny, huh? But yeah, no, you know what's funny? speaking slightly on this, not to get all serious on this thing, but I've talked a lot about like originality, and there's like several 10 people now. Garrett does it, KB does it, Ken does it. Conversations. That's something I'm going to get into in January or whatnot. And I feel like Gus is laughing because of a comment.
No, everything with the comment, and then just thinking you guys impersonating the Rat Pack. Like, you know how the Muppets have Mrs. Gorky for Miss Piggy, and you know you could have Mel, and then her twin Hell.
Or twin Hell.
I'm just laughing at this. That would be hilarious.
But yeah, if you are watching this or any of you, and you're looking to start something and you feel like somebody else has done it or is doing something similar, just go for it. You know, at the end of the day, we're all talking about movies. That's the central theme. So I reached out to Tony or Ken and KB actually when I wanted to come up with that idea. So, you know, if you're looking to do something, look, at the end of the day, top 5 rankings, anything like that, do it. You know, I know Pops just did a top 5 Christmas stream a couple days after we did it. It was great. You know, it's different opinions, different takes. So do it. If you're looking to do something, do it, and don't think twice about it. If you want to do it, do it. I can't close this because Ken's keeping us entertained here. There's a deep dive into the Rat Pack year 1. Oh, geez. Where's Jenny when you need her? We're just gonna let Mel and Ken and Del keep us entertained here. Tony always kills with the dry humor. That is one thing about Tony we could say for sure, right?
You guys are making me cry.
Yeah, look at this here. We'll put you on full screen if you wanna. I'll put this comment back up here. Third stream is a deep dive into the Rat Pack.
That comment is really funny.
It is funny. It is very funny. Yes. But yes, I don't want to keep us all night. So otherwise we could just watch Ken and Mel banter back and forth. 2 hours. We could do it. So, but yes, thank you everyone who tuned in tonight. And hopefully, you know, we'll come back with some other stuff in 2023. But yeah, have a great night, everyone. And we'll see you next time.
See y'all.
Have a great night. Happy holidays.